What prompted the move to Sierra Leone? How does that happen? Where did that come into play?
I believe that everybody has a calling to come home.
Okay.
I believe that every Black American that was taken from this land, the call to come back home is always there in every Black American. I believe that. I don't care what anybody says. I've met too many people, and our stories are all the same. I believe that some Black Americans kind of like, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not African. Those people are unlike me or whatever. But I believe that call is still there. It's a longing for you just to touch your feet on this soil, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't that person. Right. I was the person that had the call, heard the call, and was like, So let's fast forward to 2009. I have two older kids, and we were out one day with my nephews, and at a mall. I met my husband at that mall, and when I met him, it was just surreal because when he came up to me with like a crazy line, like, "Do I know you?"
Okay.
And so I started laughing at him because I can tell by his accent that he's African. You know how Black people put everybody in one category, African.
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, like, no, African, you don't know me. Just laughing.
Yeah.
And so then he had some glasses on, and my husband has beautiful eyes. So when he took his glasses off, I said, oh, God done sent me Idris Elba. Because I love Idris Elba.
Okay.
So from that day, May 2nd, 2009, me and my husband have not parted. We have been together that day since. So he told me he was from Sierra Leone. Okay. He told me he had a hotel. And I was like, okay, so what? I was a tax auditor. I worked for the government. I had a good job. I had a really, really good job. And so I had no desire to leave America. I guess I was under the illusion that I have everything here. Why would I want to go anyplace else? I had no desire. And I would honestly say up until the point where I met my husband, I never even heard of Sierra Leone. And the stuff that you did hear about Sierra Leone was negative. So to say that I would have moved there in 2009 or that was my desire, it wasn't.
Right.
So when he told me he had a hotel, I said, that's fine. And I honestly didn't care. I mean, I cared, but I didn't, I was like, oh, that's cute. And it's, it's a good talking point to say, oh, yeah, we have a hotel in Sierra Leone, West Africa. But never had the intention to go there. 2010, we married. Okay. 2011, we had our daughter together. 2012, we brought our first home together. So from probably 2012, the honeymoon era was over. And so it was like all of our money, everything was coming here to this hotel. And anybody that has a business knows that just because you're not there, the expenses and everything still happens. Even though we may not be at full capacity, we still have to send money for the generator, diesel, salaries, food. So it was always something that we had to send money here. So it was like we were solely working just to support Stafford Lodge. We was barely seeing each other. So you just put all of that into a bucket. My parents, next year, they'll celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. And so my ideal family was not what I was seeing. Okay. He was working all the time, so we were barely seeing each other because he didn't have any loans. We didn't have anything like that. It was just him working and funding it, us funding the hotel, something that we was not receiving, the benefit back from. So probably, I would say, maybe 2017, 2018. By this time, our daughter is 6. I'm thinking to myself, like, something has to give. This is not working. So I had talked to one of my good friends that I work with named Casey Thompson.
Okay.
And she said, have you ever asked your husband what was his intention before he met you, before you had your daughter, Destiny? What was his intention for this building? So I went home, I asked Desmond, I said, hey, I had a question. What was your intention? What was your intention with this hotel, right? And it was like a bulb went off in his head. He was so like excited to tell me what was his dream before he met me. So before he met me, he felt like, okay, he would work a little, come and stay. Work a little, come and stay. Work a little. But his intention was never to sit there the way that he did and
in the States.
Okay. And not come and see about his property.
Right.
He kind of felt like he didn't want to leave us behind because we are family.
Right.
And he didn't want to come and sit for 6 months because he knew I definitely would not have went for that.
Right.
So instead of him coming like he should have to check on his property, he was maybe coming like every 3 years. Okay. And anybody knows as a business owner, you cannot operate a property. I just felt like, okay, well, if that's your intention, then that's what we are going to do.
Right.
So I started, because I am a Virgo, and everything has to be organized in a way. I just started planning. Okay, well, we need to pay this off. If we are going to go, we need to be as close to debt free as possible. Okay. So we just started putting a plan into place. I can't remember if it's 2017 or 18 that this conversation occurred, but I know December 28th, 2018, I resigned from my job of 13 years from the Department of Taxation as a tax auditor.
Okay.
Remember, I had a good job.
Right.
Yeah. We put a plan into place where first, I've never been to Sierra Leone.
All right, guys, thanks for watching that clip from the Authentic African YouTube channel. If you want to see the full video, click up here. If you want to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe by clicking this link right here. And if you want to see anything more from the channel, then you want to click down here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.